Androstadienone, also called A1, is a male pheromone that has been shown to increase female arousal. It's made in the cascade of androgen transformation and it's found in male sweat. That's right, you've got this pheromone in your armpits and some men have more of it than others, which might be a driving factor as to why some men are extremely attracted to women even though they seem ugly to us men. I am quite surprised that people don't talk about pheromones more often. There are plenty of videos on testosterone and estrogen, but nearly zero videos discuss their pheromone cousins such as A1, androstenol, and androsterone. Which is why I want to share with you the many effects of A1 on attraction and social behavior. Some of you will definitely want to know ways to abuse this knowledge and maybe strike yourself a girlfriend. So I'll also go over ways to increase A1 and avoid lowering its potency. But before starting, I need to make a quick disclaimer. There are hundreds if not thousands of unknown chemicals that we secrete that probably act like pheromones. So yes, whilst A1 is one of those pheromones, it's certainly not the only. So in this video, when I talk about A1, I'm mostly talking about male pheromones in general. So let's begin by going over the weird studies that have been done. In the first one, they had women smell a strange liquid which actually was male sweat. They were monitored for LH levels, emotions, and mood, and the results showed a positive influence on all those markers. Whilst these results really surprised me at first, it's important to understand that the researchers masked the odor of the male sweat to only analyze the effects of the different pheromones at play. Another study had women watching adult content with and without being exposed to A1. When they were exposed to high doses of A1, there was a significant increase in their sexual response. But as we know, attraction isn't only about the sexual response, it's also about feeling at ease around the other person. Well, a study looked at the emotional response of women when exposed to A1, and it found out that women had a significant reduction of nervousness, tension, and other negative feeling states. Now, I want to talk about men, because A1 also affects men. In this study, they had men participate in dictator games and decision-making tasks which are commonly used to measure cooperation between individuals. When they were exposed to A1, they were found to be more cooperative. Don't think that it's only men that produce these pheromones to attract the other sex. Women also do. The female equivalent of androstadienone is called estratetranol. I want to go over two studies that really discuss this female pheromone. In the first one, they had men sitting in front of a computer looking at different pictures of women. They were told to rate these women out of 10. But whilst they were rating these women, they all wore a mask that allowed the researchers to expose them to estratetranol. And as you guessed it, when they were exposed to estratetranol, they perceived these women to be much more attractive. And on top of that, they were much worse at distinguishing ugly women from pretty women. In the second one, they asked women who were in different stages of their menstrual cycle to wear the same shirt for 3 days in a row. They then had men smell these shirts. They tested for testosterone levels in their saliva as they smelled the shirts. And they found a significant increase in testosterone when men were smelling shirts that had been worn by a woman who were ovulating. So you can imagine pheromones as weapons to signal fertility, dominance, and other cues. And therefore, every crowded environment, like a nightclub, is basically an ongoing biochemical war zone. It's clear that pheromones play a huge part in the attraction between males and females. Whilst this attraction is much more concrete and visible in other mammals like pigs, it's certainly still present in humans. So now you're probably wondering, can I increase my natural pheromone production? And the answer to that question is yes. Now, I won't bullshit you. The research in this domain is extremely poor, but it is clear that everything that will increase testosterone naturally will increase androstadienone, androstenol, and androsterone. So therefore, increasing your testosterone naturally might be the most potent way to increase these male pheromones. But it's more complex than this. You also have certain transformation that you really want to avoid, such as the conversion of androstadienone to estratetranol by the aromatase enzyme. and you also want to avoid masking your pheromones. But before I talk about those, I quickly want to talk about testosterone. Increasing testosterone naturally is much more than simply sleeping good and eating good. You also need to manage your stress via the use of certain habits like meditation and journaling. You need to look into how to avoid estrogenics like microplastics that are disrupting your endocrine system. Usually trying to not ingest plastic is the most effective way to decrease your exposure to estrogenics. But whilst that may sound simple, it's actually quite hard. There are many more ways to increase testosterone naturally, but for the sake of time, I would rather talk about those in another video. So increase testosterone and you'll increase male pheromones. But if you don't avoid the aromatase enzyme, you'll not only be converting that testosterone to estrogen, you'll also be converting A1 to estrotetranol, which, unless you are trying to be attractive to men, you should really avoid that. From what I can understand, the most effective way to lower the effects of aromatase is to decrease your body fat percentage, because this enzyme is found in fat cells, and if you have less fat cells, you'll be reducing its effect. Finally, you need to avoid reducing the potency of your pheromones by masking them with fragrances, deodorant, and soaps. This does not mean to stop washing yourself, but maybe try to reduce the amount of chemical products that you use on your body. If you would be interested in the best proven supplements to increase testosterone, click on this video right here. And if you want to see more videos like this one about hormonal health on your YouTube feed, like and subscribe. Mwah!